everybody. It's time for another morning art stream. As last week it was just chapter 4, and this week it's more Eldritchrune work. And today I'm like, okay, it's been a while since I've done anything on Eldritchrune ending stuff. So very simple stuff today, just going to be doing some character fills since those got to be done. But that'll be easy peasy to do. Just kind of make our way through these pages. I think this is in part 3. Although I still gotta go through here and finish all the background shading. But this is easy peasy to do in the meanwhile, so that I can chat and just poke it a little more, make a bit more progress. Thank you for coming. I hope that you're doing well on Sunday. Also, sorry if there is air conditioning noise in the background. There is because it's hot, because it's summer, and I have to have it on or I will explode. And that would be very messy and also probably not fun to listen to. Well, maybe fun to listen to for like very briefly, but after that, not so much. Hello, thank you for coming. Glad you're doing a little bit better. It is no fun not feeling well. I happen to know a lot of my friends, actually. My friends and family. I'm a little nervous because I have to travel this next week. I'm like, please don't let me get sick, please. The peasants are running, but it's not gonna help. The first Shrek movie. Oh my goodness. I just watched Lindsay Ellis's most recent video on like Disney flop errors, and talking about Shrek included that scene of the exploding bird. I remember seeing that in theaters. Nice. Okay. The Royal Guards might get away. Maybe. Run for it. The thing that always gets me about the exploding bird scene from Shrek is that, like, there's the joke of, you know, oh, she made the bird explode because she sung too high, and then she looks down into she looks at, you know, where the bird used to be, and there's a nest with some eggs in it, and it's like this, oh no, orphan the eggs, and then it immediately cuts to them cooking the eggs. It's like, oh, I don't know, just a double whammy joke there. I can't imagine bluebird eggs are that substantial, though. Or whatever fantasy bird this is. Here comes this chimera. Doing the chimera walk. Yep. They're like, we got tons of snacks here. We can have our pick of snacks. Unless they gotta have some fun with, like, yay, let's use some magic spells around here and scare everybody. So, like, these guys all have very little legs. They can't run very fast, comparatively. Probably why Chris ends up getting a ride often. They're too short. Take forever to walk places. You should probably be on the other side, but whatever, it's close enough. It's breakfast time. Assuming this is in the morning. I don't know if it is or not. Too short in every universe. You were too short and your arms were too weak to play the video game. All of your weak points are combining. be fair, I don't know. I feel like a tall Chris there'd be something deeply unsettling about that. Exactly. Susie has to rest her head on other people's heads. Rest her not on other people's heads. This is canon. We've worked it out. Evil Jackenstein be like, "You're short. You're too tall." Oh yeah, the evil Jackenstein actually uses the apostrophe. They're like, "Grammatically correct Jackenstein, everything's gone wrong." Exactly. Evil Jackenstein be like, "I'm actually cute on the inside," and you open it up and there's like a dead rat in there. Ew. Let's not go into Evil Jackenstein too much. That's a terrifying thought. Yeah, dead rat. That's what's inside Evil Jackenstein instead of a cute little guy. It's like, cute. Oh, I don't know. I don't know that. Yeah, like, because the actual Jackenstein's like, he takes off the pumpkin head and there's just like a cute little guy in there. And they're like, "Actually, that's pretty cute." He's like, "No, my face is too terrible to see." But, like, Evil Jackenstein, you take off the head and there's just like this gross dead rat in there. And you're like, "Actually, that's not cute at all. That's kind of awful." Those things smell. Ugh. They stink. The contractions period. You are long. It's a new AU where we swap Jackenstein and Toriel. Evil Jackenstein is Sebastian Wolf's face. "You go to bed. It's late." Yeah, they're having fun. They've been invited to Snack World. The world full of snacks. Your music cover too long. Editor's note, it's 5 seconds. I know, I think I'm actually capable of, like, turning on monetization now with my YouTube channel. I've been thinking about it. And I'm like, on the other hand, isn't there, like, some kind of stupid madness going on with Content ID and Deltarune's music? Like, it's just, there's some other group, it's not even Materia Collective that's claiming the music now. So, I don't even know if I could get much out of it if I did. I mean, it might be worthwhile just to have that on hand. Yeah, I don't know. I've just seen from a bunch of YouTube creators that are into, you know, Deltarune stuff, that the Content ID madness has just been really bad lately after the new chapters. And then apparently, like, the people doing the Content ID claiming are not Materia Collective. It's like some other group. I don't know the full extent of it. It's just, apparently it's a giant mess, and people's videos have been in terrible limbo because of content claims. So, I think on the one hand, it might be cool to turn on monetization finally. On the other hand, timing's not great. It's a long song. Like, I don't know, I think we should be able to use, you know, some Deltarune music in our people's videos about Deltarune. It's not like people are going to the video to listen to the song. If they wanted to do that, they would go to the the song that's been uploaded to YouTube, because they finally did post the songs. And you'd be like, alright, here they are. You don't have to repost them. Here's the song. Even though they do not loop well. So it's one of the reasons why I'm like, I'm just going to buy the soundtrack if I want to listen to it on a loop, because the YouTube videos all have like some dead space at the end of the song, so they don't loop properly. Whereas if I just put it on myself, I can make it loop. Plus, you know, the soundtrack kicks ass, and I wanted to buy it. There will be a fireball here later. I've got to put it in later. We'll do it later in the special area. Some things are special effects. It's a secret tool that'll be useful later. You shook my nerves and you rattle my brain. I forget the next lyric, but goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Now it's one of those songs that, like, you know, you go to a 50s style diner like Johnny Rockets or whatever, and you have like a little jukebox, mini jukebox at your table, so you can try and get some songs played. Yeah, too much love drives me insane. That was one of those songs you would get on the little jukeboxes, mini jukeboxes at your table. And you put in a quarter and you pick like 3 songs. And then hopefully maybe they'll get to them while you're eating your food. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. There's that one. There's also the purple people eater one. It was a one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. I have no clue what the context for that song is. I think they made a movie out of it or something. Odd songs from the 50s, and I think it was mostly the 50s, because I think once we got to the 60s, songs started like getting better. I mean, there are good ones in the 50s too, but I think 60s overall had kind of better music. 60s and 70s had good music. 50s had some interesting songs. Oh, another one they would put on those little mini jukeboxes in the 50s restaurant. You know, lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop. No, this is a certain person. This is Dragon Dad. I tried to have all the NPCs be like, you know, hometown NPCs humanized. I kind of made up a big chart of, I think most of them. Yeah, I remember the little one will only eat something if it's covered in glitter and looks like treasure. He's in the diner sometimes. I don't know if he has an actual name. I went through all the NPCs I could find on the wiki and tried to do humanizations of them, just to have those on hand. Play the lollipop song? You gotta play Monster Mash for Halloween. It was the Monster Mash. It caught on in a flash. I don't know, I'm pretty sure Toby puts plenty of effort into his characters. They are all quirky and funny. Even when they drive fandom insane, they are still quirky and funny. Like if there's some new NPCs, I want to know what their deal is. What is the deal with like Milk Garfield? Why is he weird about milk, while calling us freaks, our family freaks, even though he or she is totally a freak about milk? What's with diaper briefcase guy? Why are you weird like that, diaper briefcase guy? Diaper politics. What's his deal? A little rain dancing guy. He's probably the most normal. They're the most normal of our new ones, except for, you know, big bird guy blocking all the books in the library, and seems to know things like, oh, hurry up, go do the thing, hurry up. Like, who are you, sir? Oh, that's if you go to the town hall, he's the guy that's blocking your way into the town hall area proper. Like, he's like kind of like weird and has black hair, and he's short and kind of balding, and he's all like, "Oh, you don't bother the mayor. You need your frisbee lost in the wash? Go back to diaper school." And then, like, that joke kind of carries on into future chapters. He's like, "Yeah, my briefcase full of diapers," and I'm like, "What's your deal?" He is the new Jerry. And then the most recent one is like, the mayor killed my briefcase with a katana, but I voted for this. I'm like, okay, buddy. What's your problem? I'm not sure what ABDL is. Oh, is it adult baby stuff? I know that's a fetish of some kind. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a fetish thing. I ain't that naive. Okay. So is it surprising or unsurprising that he's in politics? Probably unsurprising. Yep, good old Armageddon. We're running away from the big scaries. Also, hello, thank you for coming on this Sunday morning. We're wreaking some havoc. Havoc, it's being wreaked. It's being wrought. What's the proper verbiage on wreak? Wreaked. Wrought? I feel like it's wrought. Havoc's being wrought. Wreaking. Oh, good grief, what's the grammar behind that? Odd stuff. Phew, you Havoc, you reek. Havoc, you stink. I'm thinking Havoc probably does stink. I wouldn't want to be in Havoc. No Havoc for me, thanks. Just say no to pandemonium. And shenanigans. Don't helter that skelter, bro. Catti and Berdly, like, but what if we did helter that skelter? What if we did do that? What if was for puppies? It's like Ralsei being like, "Rules, don't start a battle." Okay, I won't. But what if I did? Giant cat toesies. Big void cat claws. Would have been a loud turn. They're just playing. They're just playing. Yeah, rules is gonna suddenly become extremely useful when he's like, "Oh, bias the way if I can just change the rules of combat." Did you not know that? Gato! The mic room just lends itself to screaming things into the mic. You saw me, I was just like tossing the cats into the jungle hoop. I was not good at that. My mouse skills bad, actually. I'm so sad we didn't get to do the mic room at GDQ. That would have been really funny. I want the entire audience just screeching at the game. I did that in our third fight in chapter 3. Chapter what? You know, the third chapter. That wasn't that counting. In a minute, honey, I'm processing this. So I have a laser pointer. Everybody ready? Okay, go. That was such a good gag. So I'm sure we'll see Rules again, even though we really didn't see him or Lancer much in Chapter 4. Yeah, Jockington just wants to play sports ball. Just follow. Follow. A little over here. To the left. A little over there. Rules, you're so weird and silly. What, you didn't notice about the player? It's been there the whole time. Did you not notice? I can't be the only one who's noticed the god-shaped thing over there. That's been watching us the whole time. I thought that was normal. You can't just spring me on this. You can't tell me you haven't noticed that was there the whole time. Rosa, you tell him. You know that was there the whole time. Like, yes, but it's see, it's not just me. No gaslight with me. I will not let you. Exactly. Ralph would definitely know the players back there with the whole, like, what make you? With the ribbon and Susie. He knows. Also, thank you for the follow. This player is pissing me off. Take me and do your strongest. You are my original Starwalkers. We're all the original Starwalkers. The Starwalker was the angel the whole time. We should have realized. This meta-narrative is pissing me off. You are all deputy Starwalkers, but I'm still the original. I hope Starwalker never gets explained. Like, who was that guy? I don't know. Starwalker, that's what. Please never explain Starwalker to us. If it's like, oh, we need a save point. There's none nearby. We'll never be able to get through this if we don't, aren't able to save. Well, that's what I'm for. I'm the original Starwalker. These lack of save points are pissing me off. Use me to save your progress, your original progress. Even though that shouldn't quite count because the save stars in Deltarune are white, not yellow, but whatever. Could have done it, but the problem is Starwalker was too busy being in the thruple with El Nino, La Nina. Soccer ball attack! To be fair, I have gotten kicked in the stomach once with a soccer ball when I was like 9 and knocked the wind out of me, and it really hurt, and I hated that. Don't get hit by a flaming soccer ball. Don't do it. What are these hexagonal pigskins? Spheres. Wait, no. Are soccer balls made of pigskin? I know that's a football, but then again, I actually don't know what material you use for a soccer ball. I'm sure it's been around for a while, but I don't know what the peasants know? Yeah, I guess I'd probably assume it's pigskin. It's what you get most fine leather from. Now, you can get it from cows too, but I think pigs have the nicer leather. So why do they have like black and white shapes on them? Since it's synthetic leather or polyvinyl carbonate. Okay, so still some leather and rubber. Actually, the thing is, before they got to rubber trees, which are in South America, how often did they, like, when did they start using rubber? Did they use something else instead of rubber? Because rubber originally comes from rubber trees, and those are in South America. Do they grow somewhere else? Yeah, leather would be the closest. I'm wondering, when did rubber start seeing widespread use? So I'm pretty certain leather has been around since like the dawn of time. That's mostly just, you know, properly drawing an animal hide, but since rubber is region specific, they used something else instead of rubber until they started, you know, colonizing, stealing that from South America. What was going on? Oh no, they're in trouble either way. But yeah, better to get smacked with a soccer ball than some other things that might happen. Yeah, all snacks. No, they just hurt. They're just spells that hurt people. Also, they want the souls to stay in people, because they need those. The most eldritch horror. Pain, I mean, in a way. Ain't that what all life is about? Avoiding pain. Just pain to your brain. Brain pain. Yappy snake. I really do hope we get some more Catti and Jockington Chapter 5. Like, come on, there's potential there. It's interesting, please. Let's do something cool with them. Beyond her family is stuck in a tree. How did they get there? Why are they there? Why is she not there? Pain your spleen? Oh yeah, I need to get a beard on Jockington. Oh yeah, he'll get a beard in canon. This has been prophesied. Yeah, we got some kind of setup there. Come on. How is this not? Oh, weird. Like, how is this broken? Apparently it was broken that way. I never thought we would be rival clans, Chris. You walk with the accursed beast. That's my free milk, you furry freak. Don't be shy, Chris. I'm going to share my milk with you. Do something. The milk is diluting. Just imagine that, like, you know, I don't know, it's something like, no, Susie, you really need to learn to get along with Catti and Jockington. We're gonna need them for this certain thing. And then Susie, the next time we see, Jockington, he's like, check it out, I'm growing a beard. And Susie's like, no! And just attacks him. And Catti's like, what? But bros, my beard. Susie, I'm gonna rip that off your face right now. Stop that. Don't you dare grow that beard. Hello, thank you for coming. Might need to stop for a stretch break soon, but we got one page done. Catti and Jockington are looking for snacks. Snake, how are you doing this? How are any of them doing this? How is Susie growing hair? She's a reptile, maybe. Dragon. Then again, dragons can have hair, so that's doable. You can do what you want. Yeah, I do like how Jockington is just like a snake. Wearing sunglasses. The best at sports. We should go through a fish with the flaming soccer ball. It's all connected. One day you will all see, and then I do like the, just a little later suckers, and then I'm left completely dead on the pavement. I want Susie to go full dragon. Get yourself some proper tail and some big wings and horns and fire. Be cool. Uh-oh. I did that stupid thing where it does that thing. Alright. This is probably a good time to, Alright, we'll come back to this. Let's do a stretch break, and then we'll carry on. Been half an hour. It's all connected. Oh, Shay's running away with the frog. Eek. Got to stretch. Got to stretch. I kind of feel like every time I draw Jockington, he's like a different length of tail for Catti. Need consistency. That's hard to remember sometimes. Okay. It's probably something that, I just notice. Probably just me noticing it, because it's annoying to me specifically. Okay. To be fair, Chris's hair always feels very ambiguous. The power of gender. Includes gender hair. Is it short or long? Yes. The power of androgyny. Long time no see. 3 chapters to be exact. Yeah, Chris, show your dang eyes properly. He's like, whoa, your eyes are red. That's really cool. I like how even in the Jackenstein fight, like, you can't see Chris's eyes. There's just nothing there. It would have been cool if we saw, like, these 2 little red dots never blinking in the darkness. But we don't. It's just covered by the hair. And then when they get down, it turns into 2 little red X's. I know, I thought that was a cute gag. The red dots are... Is that pure red? I don't remember all the hex codes. Stretchy, stretchy, stretchy. Yeah, they glow like cat eyes. There's something Susie shaped in the darkness. That's me, dumbass! Alright, be right back for one more stretch and all that. Alrighty, I am back. I'm kind of hoping that my grocery delivery comes soon. I don't want it to be in the afternoon. Even if I get interrupted, at least I can quickly put those away. Alright, back to it. They're speed running out of here. Go for the gold split. At least, is that like the code for cyan? Or something? I don't remember all the hex codes. So it very well could be anything. It's supposed to be. It's Frogget. Because when I was trying, I'm like, okay, I gotta design human forms for all of the hometown residents, and there is Frogget in hometown. And I'm like, what should I do for Frogget? I'll just do Shay. Like, so it is just Shay. That was my choice for Frogget, for human Frogget. I think very few people are going to be able to catch up on that, but oh well. After Shay steals Frogget's likeness, Frogget has stolen Shay's. True. I feel like there are a few NPCs I missed. Like, for some reason, I don't think, like, Briefcase Guy or the... Maybe he was. Or the Milk Garfield were on the wiki. Yeah, check again. Does he have a name other than Milk Garfield? I don't know, that's just what I was calling it. Because I'm like, looks like Garfield, obsessed with milk. Milk Garfield. Never correlated that. I don't know, it looks like Garfield to me. Milk Looker. Milk Freak seems like a better word. True. That guy's kind of a freak. I don't know, because it looks like a yellow cat and he kind of has those Garfield eyes close together. But, and also a little bit on the chubby side, but Milk Looker or Milk Freak seems better. Standing there in the street yelling about how my family's a freak with milk on your head, dude. I'm just a weird little guy. I like how Undertale Eldritchrune monsters range from basically a furry to weird little object. Garfield? Is that I'm sorry, John kind of stuff? I don't think Milk Looker was that bad. Not quite that much of a freak. Oh, Pilot Red Sun, okay. Chris, the milk's being rained on. Chris, like, what, you want me to drink it? You're involving me in this. Stop it. The milk will soon be diluted to 0%. At least Alphys was leaving out free milk for her students to drink because somebody's not feeding them properly. Susie, why isn't your family feeding you? What's wrong with them? I'm gonna go kick them in the knees. What are they doing? I'm just amazed we actually saw Susie's bedroom in this, like, very early on in chapter 3. I was like, what? That's Susie's room! Oh! I mean, she has somebody that she's living with, I would say. She's not homeless. Might not be her parents, might be another family member, it might be a foster family. Parent and or guardian, the adult that is supposedly supposed to be looking after her, whoever that is. That's another reason why I'm like, half human Susie maybe? Because I find it suspicious that she has said nothing at all about her family. Not a thing. Again, don't know who she's living with now, don't know who she was with in the past. Is she still living with a parent? Is she adopted? Is it foster? Is it another family member? No clue. She won't say. Why won't she say? Like, we can surmise that they suck based on how she's being treated, but still would be nice to have more information than that. Yeah, we know she lives in one of the apartments. She's not homeless. She has a room. And best we can work out, like, from whoever's watching her, they're not feeding her properly and they might have a substance abuse problem. It's fine. Don't worry about it. She's totally fine. It's all fine. Still, somebody feed that girl. Give her more sundaes and ham sandwiches. Here's something I want to know. When did the scene of her crying on the bench, then Toriel takes her to the diner and gives her food and lets her cry it out, when did that happen in comparison to the newest girl scene where Susie is picking on Chris really badly? Like, was that before or after? Because if the diner scene was before, really kind of messed up how they were, like, still being awful to Chris after that. It's fine. If Asriel had needed that $5, he would have taken it with him to college. It's like the replenishing $5 drawer, because I think I already picked up the $5 from there previously. Unless it was save file shenanigans, because at this point I'm kind of just spreading my file across all 3 saves in whatever way makes sense to me. I'm not really like, this one's for the weird route, this one's for the abandoned weird route. I'm like, no, this one is always going to be all recruits pacifist, just in various stages of whatever I managed to accomplish. I get the feeling that recruiting everybody's going to be pretty important. Also, I'm sure Asriel will be fine. It's like, Chris, how could you steal a whole $5 from me? A guy in college. Oh no. I think he'll be okay. She's mad because these Empire guys were, you know, pushing them around. And then as soon as there's a big monster, they're like, oh, run away, run away. And she's like, excuse you, you're the ones who are armed. They're like, we don't care. Yeah, exactly. We basically saved Tenna through recruiting. And then who was the second person that we saved? If you recruit everybody? Oh, Jackenstein. That's right, Jackenstein. I can't believe the knight kills Jackenstein. That's terrible. I kind of wonder if, like, you do that, and Jackenstein dies if he doesn't show up in the festival. Because I get the feeling that we're going to see him at the festival. Like, he's going to be a decoration there. And then she's going to be like, oh, Jackenstein. Because I was worried I wasn't eating enough. Apparently they have trouble eating with us anyway. Like, the whole scene with the tea and the apple. Like, I want Chris to eat. I'll give them that option, but apparently being possessed doesn't allow you to make your possessee eat. That's a problem. Chris is like, dang it, I can only do this in cutscenes. I don't even know what a cutscene is in this case. I'm gonna get my chocolate milk. No, but I don't buy into the idea that Chris just hates the soul. Like, yeah, on a weird route they probably do. They've shown that much, but I don't think they necessarily think that the player is like evil or a jerk or just awful. I think they're frustrated at the situation that they're in. But I also think they might have put themselves in that situation, and it's more of a, dang it, there's no good way out of this. I don't know if it's spite. What about concert for you indicates spite? I don't. So isn't that like the end of the weird root or something? I don't remember that. Okay, but is that I hate the player, or is that I don't like this situation? It's like my dude, my guy. We're just like the choices are limited here as well. I don't think I don't know. I don't think there's I think there's always frustration, but I don't know if it's like I hate you, player. You are the cause of my problems. It's like I don't know about that, my dude. Again, weird root's another issue. Yeah, they justifiably hate the player because the player is being a horrible asshole and making them do horrible things, and like yeah, that is totally justified hate. But in a normal pacifist route, I think they're frustrated, but I don't think they're like, if this is all your fault, player, I hate you. Yeah. Chris, you gotta learn to be nicer. But the thing is, like, they've at least played it around some other people. Like, Toriel knows that they're good at it. Because Susie's like, hey, your mom said that you play piano really good. What's up with that? So it's not a total secret. I don't know, I guess it also depends on, like, was this forced upon them against their will, or did they have, like, a hand in this? And I still kind of lean more towards that this was a choice of theirs. I don't think it's a choice they like very much. I think it's a choice they might regret, because that's what you do when you're a teenager, is like you make a, you know, really big decision about your own body that you don't really think through, and then you have to deal with the consequences of that, and it sucks. But that's still their choice, and they have to live with it, kind of thing. There could be assumptions there. Again, that's why I'm now kind of like, oh man, what if we get the chance to talk to them in a future chapter? Like, directly talk to them. I think we could technologically pull it off. It'd be hard, but I don't think it's impossible. And that would be such a cool effect if you could do that. One of those big freaky gaming moments where you're like, holy crap. In which you can come to a direct understanding. I don't know, I think that'd be really neat. Yeah. I kind of wonder whose idea it was, basically. Like, I think they agreed to it. I wonder if it was their idea to be like, I'm gonna get possessed, especially because we're talking about, hey, you know, you tried to summon a demon, didn't you? Was that just on their own, or was somebody like, hey, why don't you try some demon summoning, Chris, for the purposes of our conspiracy? I kind of feel like it was their idea at first, and then people decided to take advantage of that. I mean, I don't think those are our only options. I don't think it's like, oh yeah, you were the right one, and I was stupid. I think I just don't think that our options are either, yes, I love you, player, you are so helpful to me, or I hate you, player, you're the worst. I think there's more nuance involved than that. Okay, that would be freaky. If the first time we hear Chris talk and it's like fully voiced lines rather than the computer noises, that would scare the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, oh shit. It would be really cool, but it would also scare the hell out of me. Maybe that's an agree to disagree thing. I don't think it's well into negative. I would say it's into, like, neutral to negative. Hello, thank you for coming. Yeah, after we have, like, actual characters with... And even then, those are just, like, basic phrases, but, like, actual voice acting would scare the hell out of me. But then that would be cool. You get to finally hear, like, their own voice. Something that, Noelle's talked about a bunch. I'm just scared of whenever Susie finds out about the possession thing. As far as she's like, oh no, that's just regular Chris, and Noelle's like, it's not. Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, I think there would be accessibility options in terms of the talk to Chris thing. Like, again, if you have a mic, you use the mic. If you don't have that, use a keyboard. If you don't have the keyboard, you have button prompts. Like, I don't think it's the kind of thing they would, like, have anybody be left out by it. But because yeah, it does require external things in order for it to work. Yeah, she was a bit frustrated with the soldiers and failed to notice the giant chimera coming up behind her. Yeah, I do think that would be a cool thing, but I know it is mitigated by a lot of factors, like, okay, do you have a mic? Can you speak clearly in basically one of the two languages we can do this in? No speech impediment, no accent. That is a lot of hurdles to clear. That part is true. Again, not impossible, but I think it would be difficult. So I think it would have to only be in one area for one big dramatic moment. And even then it would be they only respond to certain phrases. Yeah. I can see it's the kind of thing where, like, if you have the proper setup for it, like if you do have a working mic and you can speak properly, then you kind of can walk your way through it organically. But it would still be a thing of, okay, not everything you say is going to get a response. You can only program so many responses in, especially with something as complex as language. So, I don't know, maybe like, 9 or 10 phrases at best. Depending on how it works. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking out my ear. I don't know all the technology complexities involved with that kind of thing. I feel like that should be doable. Difficult, very difficult, but doable. Like, I'm trying to think of some games where you could talk into, the mic and get certain responses. I mean, I don't know about that. The entire focus. Well, yeah, if the whole game is just like you saying phrases, then I don't know. Nintendogs, you can talk and they do stuff. Really? Is that one where like a specific phrase will get specific response? Like if you say "good boy," it wags its tail. I haven't played Nintendogs. Yeah, the animation was real super cool there. Oh yeah, like sit. Okay, yeah. That, like, how old is Nintendogs? That's a pretty old game. Hey you, Pikachu and Seaman. And then I guess Nintendogs. Nintendo, yeah, DS. That's like a long time ago. That's a long time ago. Yeah, I mean sit. But if that's like decade-old technology, maybe more. Is it more like a 15-year-old technology? Like if you could do that 15 years ago, I don't know. I feel like you could do something wherein a character can respond to like a set thing of phrases. I feel like maybe they would have to, like, I don't know, program it so that you have a lot of different people try and say that particular phrase so it can kind of learn to recognize it through different accents. Providing the verbal cue. Oh, good grief. How am I going to do this thing? Okay, that's a whole different setup. I feel like it would be even easier to just have some set phrases that it will respond to rather than you training it on your voice. I don't know. Or maybe it's easier the other way. I'm not sure. Is that how it works in Hey You Pikachu too? Is that you have to like train the voice recognition first, and then it'll do it? Catti says, "Peekaboo, I found you. Stop hiding in there and come out for snack time." Again, I don't know much about the technology, but I would be... I don't know. Maybe it's just vibes. Okay. It's looking for the audio that matches what you say. I wonder if that's the kind of thing they could do with, like, you know, kind of a... I hate to use the friggin' AI thing, but maybe this is an actual useful place for it. In terms of, like, okay, you get, you know, like, 20, you know, 50 or however many people all saying the word, like, you know, sit or stay or whatever phrases you want to keep, and kind of teach, you know, the algorithm to recognize, okay, anything in this range of voices is, you know, correlated with the word sit. Or this range of sounds. But I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't like a chat GTP jump going on in there. I'd kind of prefer it if it's just like, okay, we've, you know, recorded voice sayings for, like, you know, certain phrases from, like, you know, 100 different people, so that we get a wide range of particular responses that can fall into this category, like this phrase. You know, try and get people with different talking speeds and, you know, maybe speech impediments or something. Something from a lot of different people. You know, male and female and in between voices. And then just train it to, like, recognize, okay, anything within this range counts as this phrase. I know that is a difficult thing to do, a tall order. Games file. Then again, like, the file was quite a bit bigger for chapters 3 and 4 than it was for the first two chapters. Like, significantly larger. I wonder what was making it larger for, like, the new chapters. Was it all those PNGs of, like, the stuff in Tina's world? You say the exact same words. What is that accent? Aw. Once I finish this panel, we'll have to take another break. Because, yeah, I remember when I downloaded it, I'm like, wow, this is like a significantly larger file size than normal. I kind of wonder where all that space went. It's like, I know there were a lot of PNGs and stuff in chapter 3, but I don't think those are that heavy in terms of file size. Texas? I was born there. No accent, though. Yeah, that's true. Don't need no stinking compression. Then again, I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, compression? Nah. Take my giant file size. What if I need this bigger later? That is true. That is true. There's the whole MP4. Coming straight from your house. I wonder how big that is in comparison to everything else. No wonder they were like, please, we have to, like, split these chapters up into different separate games. Compressing things with games is usually a bit more elegant than compressing images. Okay, time for a stretch break. But yeah, the video is also supposed to look compressed. That's part of its charm. It's supposed to look like it's from the 90s. Well, honestly, that static stuff, the static effects probably made it way heavier than it was supposed to be. Static is very natural in an analog thing, but when you try and apply it to digital, it makes everything heavier and more complicated. I should be better about archiving stuff. So yeah, maybe the massive file size is that MP4, but I don't know. Maybe part of that is the mic room. It seems like there's a lot of stuff involved with even making the mic room work. Oh dear. I do not want that. No. Yeah, I should get more storage drives. More storage, more storage. We're gonna get the final Eldritchrune game. It's gonna be like 10 gigs big. And we're gonna be like, what the hell goes on in here? It's 10 gigs big because like Chris comes out of the game at the end of Weird Root and kills you in real life. That'll show you. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. We're doing stretch break, and then I gotta go get my orange juice. When is my groceries arriving? Code to store things more streamlined. Effective while not wasting space. That's why most Call of Duties are like 200 gigabytes, while all of Warframe is enough to fit in the phone. No, I don't like pulp in my orange juice. I like pulp-free orange juice. I don't like the yuck. Pulp. Yuck. I'm mostly okay with it in lemonade. Don't like it in orange juice. I mean, I'll drink it if that's all I have, but it's not my preference. If I was given a choice between no pulp and pulp, I would pick pulp. Oh yeah, though I guess also Toby not compressing stuff might just be like, I don't know how to program lol. I've attached all of my dialogue to like 10,000 if statements. Which, you know what, if it works, it works, don't knock it. It's more than I could do, since I'm like, how to make a thing on the screen go? I wish I was better at programming. Yeah. The 10 video is only 7 megabytes. Yeah, that makes sense. Huh. Okay, where then I'm now very curious. Where is the rest of that file size going? Is it just that the programming is Toby programming and he doesn't like to compress things in 10,000 if statements? Well, I'm pretty sure that was Undertale. I'm pretty sure he's learned how to do something other than if statements for dialogue, but yeah, huh. No compression on the song? Maybe. But even then, like, what would that be total? He learned how to do an else statement on something in Chapter 4. I imagine so. Alright, be right back for one more stretch and orange juice and all that. Oh, are you watching me from the log? almost out of orange juice. Also, I think it's picking up the music a bit. It's probably picking up the music. Maybe I should turn down the music slightly. I do not have it fresh from the juice. I don't. It is unfresh from the juice, like the sands or whatever that everybody talks about. Got music down slightly. And back to it we go. Fresh from the juice. The music takes up like a third of Eldritchrune's whole file size. You know what? Fair. Fair and real and true. Like, you will hear the good music. Yeah, so, you know, good trade. I know some people, like, I was listening to Shay Speedrun recently, and he's like, I don't know if, or maybe, no, maybe this is Andrew Cunningham or somebody I missed. They're like, I don't know if, you know, like, I like Undertale soundtrack, but I don't know if it holds up outside of my memories of the game. Like, is it really that good? And I couldn't respond to the time, but what I wanted to say was that, like, I tried to play Undertale for my mom. So I'm like, hey Mom, I really like this game. It's kind of important to me. I'd like to play it for you. And she's like, oh, it's okay. You know, she doesn't care about video games at all. And, yeah, it wasn't Andrew Cunningham. It wasn't Shay, it was Andrew Cunningham. I was trying to remember what I caught up on, so it's probably Andrew. But, so I was trying to play the game for her, and she just fell asleep, like, the entire time through the game. But even after that, she was like, I really like that music. Can you send me that music? So she didn't remember a dang thing about the game. She did not care. But she liked the music, and she wanted me to send her the music, so I feel like I can confidently say that, yes, the music is that good, because a boomer who does not care about video games at all was like, I like this. She was much like, I like the music will help me get to sleep. She's like, it's so nice. So I feel like that's my litmus test for, is Undertale music really that good? Yes, it is. If a boomer who gives zero craps at all about the story and the characters is like, this is nice music, I like it, then I'm gonna say the music is good enough on its own. Well, yeah, I mean, it holds up, but it's mostly like, do I really love this music because it's good on its, like, entirely divorced from its context, or do I like it because of the context? And my again, that being my litmus test with my mom is that, like, okay, she likes it outside of the context, so I think it's good even without the context of the game. Oh yeah, we totally should get Undertale's OST in there. Should be a lot more in there in the Library of Congress, actually. Put them all in. We need game preservation. So yeah, it is Undertale's music that good, even if you don't give a crap about Undertale? I would say yes. But if you give a crap about Undertale, then it's, like, extra good. No, my parents don't care about video games. I try and talk about them. Their eyes just glaze over. They do not care. It's not even like they don't like nerd stuff like that. You know, they like Lord of the Rings. They like, you know, they've watched some Marvel movies. They used to watch Game of Thrones. So they're not like, ew, nerd stuff. Like, they'll like some mainstream nerd stuff. They you know, they like Harry Potter, even though nowadays I'm pretty adamant, like, guys don't like Harry Potter anymore. Stop that. But video games, they're normies. They raised a bunch of nerds, but they are mostly normies. I guess they're slightly unnormies in that they like movies a lot. And that, you know, they'll care about movies and talk about them with us, you know, like, we'll discuss things about, you know, plot and stuff like that. Stuff that I don't think normies usually think about when you do, like, talk about movies and stuff like that. Or books and whatever, you know, they really encouraged us to read. read a lot of books, but video games just didn't care, didn't like them. I think part of that is like when my mom was first experiencing video games, you know, this was arcade stuff that was out at the time, so like, you know, Pac-Man, and of course a lot of the arcade games were designed to just, you know, steal all your quarters. They're really difficult, and you know, they're supposed to make you keep shoving quarters and quarters into the arcade until you're good at it. And my mom did not get past that hurdle of, oh, you know, if you keep trying, you'll get good at the game, and then it's fun. She was mostly just like, this thing just eats my quarters, and it's hard, and I don't like it. And that first impression never went away, even though I'm like, that's not how games work. At least not anymore. Some games work like that. Some games are, you know, money sinks. Unfortunately, we still got our gotchas nowadays. Yeah, now we have our gambling things, which, you know, are arguably worse. Actually, I would say, I kind of think that gotcha games might be worse than, you know, the quarter eaters of old, because at least those involve, like, you know, progressing through skill, and if you got better at the game, you know, you didn't have to spend your quarters so much, whereas this is entirely just like luck and gambling mechanics of like, I'll just, you know, pull the lever, see what you get. I don't think she thought I was giving the Undertale quarters. I think she just didn't care. Again, she was falling asleep. It just didn't hold her interest. But she liked the music. I know. That's what capitalism does to you. And the thing is, she was susceptible to it too, because she was really big into Duolingo. Like, she really, you know, she got into the gamification of Duolingo. She was working on her Italian, and like pointed out, like, hey, you know, I've been working really hard at Duolingo, but there's these people here that, you know, have way higher scores than me, even though I've been playing every day that I can. And I'm like, Mom, it's because it's like, I had to explain the concept of whales to her. And be like, these are either bots or they're people that have paid like ungodly amounts of money to get these high scores. You can't possibly compete with that. And that frustrated her. She doesn't like that, obviously. So, I don't like a lot of practices in modern games, and how they'll try and cheat you out of all your money. One of the reasons why I like Eldritchrune a lot is because Toby was like, you know what? This costs $25. And that's what you're going to pay for it, is $25. Yeah, it could be boring to watch, especially if you're not familiar with a lot of the tropes and stuff. Yeah, unfortunately Duolingo is a mess. There's got to be better learning apps out there, right? I would really like a learning app, something to learn ASL on. I'd like to learn ASL. I think that'd be really useful to know. But I don't know if there's any apps out there for that. Probably something that requires like an actual class or something. Yeah, that's true. It's a game that people like to backseat on. If you're not careful. It is. A shocking amount of are monetized. It sucks. And I know it's something I should try and do more, because I already rely too much on, like, okay, I've gotten this ask in my inbox. I'll just run it through Google Translate, even though that's not very accurate. Nobody hates Undertale fans more than Undertale fans. I do wish Undertale fans would not backseat so often. I'm like, please, part of the joy of this game is, like, discovering things yourself and seeing how your choices have an impact. It's not fun if people tell you what your choices should be. Yeah, there can be long stretches where it's like, okay, you're just, you know, fighting these enemies again. Which is fine if you're like an RPG fan and you already know what to expect in that terms of that. Oh, I forgot little board over here. But if you're not familiar with that, it's just kind of like, okay, why am I watching you dodge bullets? That could be not very fun for an observer, I imagine. I tried. Can't say I didn't try, but that's the way it is. I suppose it is easier to share something like a movie or a TV show because then you're both passively watching it. It's designed to be passively consumed as opposed to a game where you are supposed to be a participant. In the end, we can only try, true. I know, again, it's like, please let people try the game themselves. Don't backseat them. Part of the fun is a blind playthrough. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. what a fascinating way to play the game. I can only imagine what you know kind of ending you'll get, because that's probably because if they're not, unless they're actually going around and making sure they're doing, you know, all the Geno stuff, then they're probably going to get like a neutral ending where Sans is like, you friggin' suck. That's got to be interesting. Fascinating way to play. Yeah. I hope people listen. I hope people listen, please. Especially like as a huge fan, part of what makes it so fun is like, oh boy, I'm never going to have this experience of playing this for the first time again. The only way I can possibly do that is to see other people's experience of playing it for the first time on their own. And for that, you can't say anything. They have to do it on their own. Cool. So is it turning up to be a No Mercy run? Like, did they kind of stumble into that by killing everything? Or is it just like they're progressing normally and doing the, you know, spare conditions then insta-kill? Because if you don't kill everybody, then it's not No Mercy. Yeah, No Mercy neutral. Get your level up pretty high, but not up to Sans fight high or Undying the Undying. Because if you miss even one monster, it doesn't count. I'm trying to remember, like... yeah, what ending you get with that. I don't think it's the Alfie's ending, because I think in order to do that, you do have to basically be on a No Mercy route until, like, Hotland, and then, like, flub one monster, and then you get the Alfie's ending. But I don't know what it is if you are never technically on. It's the Anarchy one. There is no ruler. But that's not not the same as the dog ending, is it? Yeah, the dog ending is if you kill the bosses but don't kill anybody else. Yeah, the one where she says, I should have killed you when I had the chance, that is the Alfie's ending, which is basically abandon No Mercy. They have done a few auto spares like Shiren. Interesting. Okay, yeah, you have to ditch it in Hotland. Okay, that's what it is. Oh my goodness, that's so fascinating, because yeah, that's a pretty harsh ending. Not the Alfie's ending, but like things are really bad and nobody likes you. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you like that. I'm glad somebody commissioned that. That was I think a sweet thing to draw. Nice to do more Alvin and Garrison. Garrison better come back. I want to see Garrison again. Show me more of the old man. Yeah, I mean, I just love Alfie's as a character, so the Alfie's ending where she's like, I could have killed you is fascinating. Has anybody really done an AU based off that ending? Because that would be a fascinating one. I'm not sure where you take it from there, but fascinating. A lot of the neutral endings are pretty fascinating. Yeah, I gotta been touched on at least. All kinds of interesting things to do. All sorts of stuff. Yeah, because basically Alfie's was like, I want to keep the human here, so I'll try and manufacture a situation where it seems like I saved the day and she won't want, and they won't want to leave. Yeah, unless you introduce another human into the mix, it's pretty much like, ugh. But yeah, I'm trying to, like, the Anarchy one, it's not the dog ending, so there's basically, like, no ruler. Everything is a mess. Because Toriel's gone too, so Sans and can't go run off to Toriel's place. Oh, that's gonna super suck, because yeah, if you kill Toriel and Papyrus and all the other bosses, and then Alfie's also dies because she kills herself, there's like just Sans left and then like a bunch of people, and it's just like, oh, that sucks. Yeah, no, I love Alphys. I love her to death. She's probably my favorite Undertale character, but that was not a good thing for her to do. This is a poor woman who needs to get to grips with the bad things she's been involved in, and she just refuses to because she's terrified of what people will think of her. Who loves a character who does all good? Exactly. It's more fun if there's a little bit of bad. I don't get the Alphys hate. I'm like, okay, y'all just say you hate nerdy women, okay? Because people aren't gonna hate her because, oh, she did this bad thing. They always hate her because of how she acts, like on the phone and stuff. People will forgive a villain before they'll forgive somebody for being annoying. How they are with Berdly. Yeah. Because in those endings, almost more than the No Mercy ending, you leave the underground in a worse state than how you arrived. Like at the very least, through most of the game, people have hope. Okay, things can get better. Oh, I was saying that the something like an Anarchy ending or Alphys ending, in some ways almost worse than the No Mercy ending, because at least No Mercy things just end. It's a horrible end, but things end. Whereas with those Anarchy endings or whatever, you've basically like taken everybody's friends and rulers away and left them with no hope. They're just stuck there until never, because all the human souls are also gone. So, but bad ending, very bad ending. Sometimes the expired Coke just goes down the drain and nothing happens. Yeah, like Undyne ending. That was actually the first ending I got, was the Undyne ending. Because when I first played, I absolutely fell for the, oh, well, I guess I have to, show Toriel I'm strong enough and beat her in order to, mercy her. Maybe she'll be merciable once I get her health down enough, and then it does that little rug pull on you, and you take out a ton of health at the end. And I was like, oh shoot, oh no, I killed her. I didn't really want to do that, but I didn't think to reset. I was just kind of like, okay, I guess I have to keep going, but oh no, I didn't want to do that. So I did keep going, and then when I got to Undyne, I got super stuck, and that was the only one I looked up how to win. I'm like, I don't want to do like what I did with Toriel again. I'm supposed to mercy everybody. So I looked up, you had to run away from her. And then the rest of the bosses I, you know, got through normally. And so, but the first neutral ending I got was, because Toriel isn't there, Undyne takes over. That was my first Undertale ending. Hope crossed out of their hearts. I know, I looked it up. I didn't want to kill Undyne. I'm like, I'm stuck. What do I do? I did not get the runaway thing. I didn't understand it. I am a fake gamer. But I actually kind of wonder how often people get that ending or whatever, something similar, because it's definitely set up to, you know, do the fake out with Toriel and be like, oh, I'll just wear down her health enough, and then nope, you killed her. Nope, I was unspoiled. I was unspoiled. And I want that for other people when they play the game. It's like, please, just find out what happens. See how your choices affect the world. That's the fun part. So yeah, it would be really obnoxious if it was like, no, you missed the quiche under the bench. It's like, I did too, dude. It's not that big a deal. No. World's most complimented Frogget. Frogget will never understand, but they're so flattered. We love you, Frogget. Yeah, I struggled my first playthrough a lot. Died a lot in random places because I was not good at dodging the bullet. That's me playing a video game, because I'm like, if I just try it again, it'll work this time. If I just do it harder. Okay, difficult things to draw. I'm like, how do I actually show Snake unhinging its jaw? I think I tried to look this up, and I'm like, it just looks like its mouth is really wide open. Never got past Muffet. Muffet's surprisingly hard. At least it was for me. Surprisingly difficult. Oh, that's a long break. Wow. This is Snake unhinging jaw? Okay, good. Close enough. Yay, I've drawn it accurate. Like, I hope I properly convey what is supposed to be happening. Yes, here is a Jockington. And hello, thank you for coming. I'll make sure you pay attention in class, though. Will he grow the beard? No, sadly. This was drawn before the new chapters came out, so no prophecy. He does not grow the beard. That's how you know there's no prophecy here. He doesn't grow the beard. The prophecy is, you will all die. Which some people seem to think is the actual prophecy for Eldritchrune. I'm like, I don't think that's it. Absolutely unreadable, I know. I'm sorry. Good grief, where's the back leg on this? Okay, I think it's here. Should make sure I put this in the right place. What about what? The prophecy of drinking water. What about prophecy of drinking water? Oh, I like that prophecy. I am drinking my orange juice, though. Drinking water from a water cooler. What NPC? It's QC. QC gets eaten. She was in the cult, so, sorry. Tragic. She gonna get nommed. In most awkward way, not even the face is eating you, the tail is. Of course, it's always die in the most embarrassing or debuffing ways. That's why you shouldn't join a cult. You will get a really upsetting, unhappy death. She can't reach her from here. She's pinned to the ground. Cannot reach. It's like, must get in one last tummy rub for kitty. Before I die, must touch the kitty. Cults are not always religions. Cults, there are secular cults. They can be for anything. You can have a cult that is not about religion. Touch the forbidden toe beans. Ah! So while that's happening, we're back with our dear friend Berdly. You could have a cult for petting frogs. You can have a cult about anything. The main requirements are high control environment, isolation from the rest of society and other people. Usually, leader that is absolute kind of things. There's a bunch of different things about it. But in general, you want to watch out for anybody that's like isolating you from the rest of the world, and whatever leader says is correct. And also, by the way, you also have to give up everything you own for this. Please give up everything you own for leader. Please give up all of your time for leader. Hurt yourself or your body for leader. Cut yourself off from your family and friends. Like those are the warning flags. Yeah, people use it to describe a predatory religious system, but it doesn't necessarily have to be religious. And you can have a religion that's not a cult, because there are, I would venture to say most religions out there, even the ones you don't like, are not cults, because they do not follow that method of, we are cutting you off from society, give all of your possessions to us, leave behind your life and focus only on us. Most religions are like, nope, we are an aspect of your life. We are not your entire life. You have a life outside of the religion. But the two have been conflated, I think, in people's minds, because it's easy for religious things to turn to cults, because often religions do have a thing of, hey, you should, listen to what the doctrine is, and hey, you should give up some of your time or your possessions. Like that is pretty frequent in religions in general. Hey, you need to do things for the greater good instead of just yourself. That can easily get twisted. I mean, extremism could be cultish, but again, usually a cult is, You are cut off from the rest of society. You are cut off from other family and friends who are not a part of the cult. You are, supposed to follow very strict set of rules from, one person or very few people. And everything you are doing, your possessions, your time, your work, all of that is going towards the cult. There's nothing set aside for other things. And that can be extremism. The Binding of Isaac intro. I've never played Binding of Isaac. And by this, do you mean this discussion, or do you mean like Berdly flying in to get people? Berdly's gonna get you. Also, once I'm done with this page, I am going to take a stretch break. The game follows a similar theme. Well, with a name like The Binding of Isaac, I assume referencing the story of Isaac and Abraham in the Bible, then probably something along those lines, which is a fascinating story. Yes, I gotta take care of my wrists. I gotta take care of them. Berdly, you're gonna ruin my wrist with your big stupid feathers. Your big dumb things. I'm like, I don't care. I've never played The Binding of Isaac. I just assumed that that Binding of Isaac is referencing the Bible story of Abraham and Isaac. Bird wrist could be useful. Expressed through the creator's childhood trauma. That makes sense. Also, I know it's a kind of in the roguelite category. Roguelite? What's between roguelike? I assume it's roguelike. Yeah. So I do not know anything about the Binding of Isaac other than rogue elements, and also probably references the Bible story. That's all I know. And also, fun designs. Fun and unique designs. Row light when you don't want your boat to go fast. He is a scraggly burb. He is full of scraggle. Alright, we will finish up this page and then it will be wrist stretch time. We're almost there. You are a scraggle burb. Yeah, I've seen gameplay from it. Heavily Zelda inspired. Tell you what, really, Toby really nailed that Zelda music in Sword Root. I'm like, yep, this is the Zeldas. Alright, it is now time for a stretch break. And then we'll move on to another page. Ouch. Ouch. To be fair, I'm sure there are lots of games inspired by Zelda, because Zelda is extremely formative. Yeah. It was definitely different. I'm not surprised they decided to nix the third board. Because even while I was playing, I'm like, this is fun, but it's kind of going on for a while. I'm not used to this gameplay style sort of thing. Whole lot of different sorts of exploration having to go on. I would get super lost on the boards if I didn't know, exactly what I was looking for. And yeah, I sucked at the ERAM boss fight. I was not good at that. I had to do the dungeon before ERAM a couple times, because I would just die against the regular enemies in the dungeon before that. The ice dungeon, I guess. Yeah, like one board, cool. 2 boards, okay, we're getting a little tired of it. I can see why they cut the third board, especially if they were getting feedback from, playtesters being like, hey, this is getting a little tiring kind of thing. So, hence we got the cut cowboy section. which only briefly comes back when the final TV world stuff. Tina's like, I'm gonna distract the hell out of all of you. I would not survive. Yeah. You do have to think about player experience. Like, I'm sure there are some people who are like, no, I was doing fine, I want the third board, kind of thing. But I imagine if there was enough playtesters like, I'm tired of this, then it's like, okay, is this actually necessary to keep, like, story-wise? And if you evaluate it and you're like, well, no, it's not really necessary, then, yeah, it gets cut. So, we see little hints of it in Sword Root, but, and Horse Ray, but otherwise, yeah, I'm personally like, I could have done, I'm glad they kind of cut the third one. I was getting a little tired after the second board. Like, just the whole part where, like, you know, Chris and Susie and Ross are in the capsule just looking exhausted. I'm like, me too, bro. Tina's like, no, keep going. Also, where was the Knight that whole time? What were you doing, Knight? Why didn't you show up until like 5 hours later? What were you doing? What was your goal in this? If it was to kidnap Toriel, why did you take so long to get there? And if it was to kidnap Undyne, again, why did you take so long to get there? The Knight was doing wrist exercises. Okay, I can forgive that. Can you imagine the Knight sitting there with their own little controller, their little pixel Knight, wandering around? How do I kill this guy? Alright, be right back for one more stretch and other stuff. Alrighty, I am back. Let's keep going. I do enjoy the concept of the Knight turning to a block, or perhaps a surfboard. Surfing buddies. Da, 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 da. And then the surfboard just flips you over. It's like you've drowned. Thanks, Knight. Surfing bird. I like how the Knight can just like, I am a baseball, and then I am a bird, and then I am analog horror static on your screen. I am all these things and more. Now, speaking of surfing bird, I could be the surfing bird. What if you fight Sans Deltarune and he has 2 HP? You take out 1 HP. This is for me. Goodbye, Sans Deltarune. You have to hit him twice. If Sans does go to Undertale from Deltarune, I just want him to be a cautionary tale. I don't want it to be like, and then Special Boy Sans escaped the apocalypse, because he's just so cool. I want it to be a thing of like, Sans is like, I know where this story is going. I'm going to run out on it before a bad thing happens to me. Goodbye, world. And then, turns out things did not go how he expected, and it's his own fault. I don't know how to surf. I wish I did. I know how to swim. I don't know how to surf, though. Surfing's hard. That is an exercise of much work. I probably could have learned when I was younger. I would have had the opportunity. But I never learned. Surfing in the USA. Do it in my hypothetical $4,000 fursuit. I'd rather not. I then have to buy another hypothetical $4,000 fursuit. And, I don't want to do that twice. Yeah, but we've already shown him being a special boy in Undertale. He doesn't need to also be Deltarune's special boy. He doesn't need 2 times special boy. Also, man, imagine he asked Toriel to go with him and she says no. And he has to live with that. And then he gets to Undertale and there's Toriel again behind the door. I don't know, I think there's some interesting angsty stuff you could do with Sans without making him the special boy. Well, again, that depends. Is he only from Deltarune's universe, or is it just from other universes in general? And if he's from other universes in general, then he doesn't give a flip at all. But it kind of seems like he is, at least cares a lot about Deltarune's universe. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. It seems like he misses it, and he's like, dang, I wish I could go back there. There's a lot of hints that it's the same Sans. Like, a really large number of hints. To the point where if it didn't happen in some capacity, I'd be like, well, wait, what was that all about? No one can fix the machine. No one can do it. Sans sold his clothes in the Super Smash Bros. Universe. True. I mean, to be fair, if I was in his position, I'd be like, sure, yeah, you can use my outfit for world famous fighting competition, and I would do that. Yeah. Why not? Sure, use my theme song. Why not? And again, I don't even think it's technically his theme song. He's just borrowing it too. Here's a mask of my face. Have fun, kids. We're dressing up as Sans for Halloween. And we're also dressing up our gun for Halloween. As an arm cannon. Yeah, because he's basically based off the Mii gunner, which has an arm cannon. He is a Mii costume. There were some other characters that ended up as Mii costumes too. I'm trying to remember what they were. I just remember Sans like, Sans, what? Time to throw a big deal about it. Whoa! Hey bro, I got this cannon stuck to my arm. Sans! Told you to be more careful with that. No, that's fine. I can use it in like video game tournaments and stuff. It'll be neat. Sans, then how will you eat food with one of your hands stuck in a cannon? Well, that's where you'll help me. Bomberman, Vault Boy, Dragonborn, Doomslayer, and Minecraft Creeper. Me Gunner did get all the cool ones. I know there's me Gunner, me Fists, and me Sword. I should probably actually play the new Smash Brothers at some point, shouldn't I? With all the mountains of time I have. That is true. You could just attach, you know, utensils to your cannon. Just make sure they don't go off. It's your woman by something that happened twice. That is true. Didn't that happen in like wrestling? Like I don't follow wrestling, but apparently that was a really big deal in wrestling. Adland. I know. I just don't have time because I'm an old fart and I have to do things like the dishes and stretch a lot in order to draw and walk my lizard. No, I don't actually walk her that much. And pay a bill and take out a trash. Like, I know it sounds like a joke, but those things kind of constantly add up. It's really frustrating. That's just how it be. And then most of my time is spent working on these comics. So I want to get them out for you. This is a fun Berdly pose. So is the Dia. Shut up. It just came out yesterday, bro. And yet I would probably still main Yoshi. Azrael, pick back up the green lizard. It's not too late. You don't have to be afraid of being cringe. You don't have to worry about it. You'll never be secure. Azrael, no! Yeah, she's like, hey, can we look at that again, Chris? Huh? Chris, huh? What's going on with that How to Draw Dragons book, huh? You want dress-up ideas, Susie? How to draw those cool, sexy, sexy dragons? They have like separate like how to draw, you know, humans and monsters books. Like imagine there's like, you know, the how to draw manga book, that really famous one, and then like there's that for humans and there's that for monsters. How to draw manga, monsters edition. And there's just like a big, you know, anime doe-eyed, you know, dog monster on the front. Chris is like, oh man, I need this one. Tragic lack of self-exploration. Alfie's and Timmy have that book, true. Yeah, what monsters get picked to be drawn? Somebody's going through this book and there's like, there's no tutorials for how to draw slime monsters. Why? When are we gonna get a book on insect monsters? Does that count as racism? Maybe. I don't know. It does say how to draw dragons, true. But some monsters are dragons. How do you distinguish? Like, dragons as a concept exist in this universe because, you know, dragon blazers. So they recognize dragons as a fantasy creature, but there are also dragons, monsters that just look like dragons. And Susie's probably one of them. It's made by a human, so take it with a grain of salt. You should become Susie Zola and stomp everything. Comes out of the game and kills you in real life. I still want big, like, I'm happy we got a little Susie Zola section in chapter 3, but I'm like, I want a big Susie, a real big one. She gets big scary wings and turn dragon and we'll get you. And it's badass. And we're like, holy shit. Just like she's always wanted. Yeah, exactly. When she gets the soul. That's when it happens. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming. Susie shows up at a lore accurate size and stomps over everything. That's where all the extra game file stuff was going towards. It was going towards that. That'd be so badass. I mean, you'd probably only get in the Dark World, but that would be so badass either way. Thanks for vibing and lurking. We're gonna see how many pages I can get through before I gotta stop for lunch. We're already on page 5, not bad. It's like halfway through in this particular part. He scream! Berdly scream at you! Free! Exactly. You go rah! What happened if a griffin harpy gives you a hug? Then you get a very special hug. You've been hugged. Although, what's a griffin harpy? Is that like a griffin with a human face? I'm pretty sure harpies usually have like human faces. Again, probably depends on your harpy. I'm sure you could reinterpret that in a lot of different ways. I can't remember what this character was. I know they're based on another NPC, but which one was it? I have to look at my chart. My NPC chart. His screams give you the terribles. The terrible screechies. The screams make you a gamer. My themed YouTuber is just a griffin. It's not a harpy. Just a griffin. A Lynx griffin, you might say, since that's my name. And hence the fluffy ears. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming. appreciate you being here. Lynx, the big bird, Griffin's the little doodle creature? Yes. There's both and more. Yeah, and the big floofy cheeks. Lynx got the big floof cheeks. And the really big soft paws with like no beans. That's the worst part about Lynx. No beans. Well, they do have beans, but they're very small beans, and it's because they're like snowshoes. So they need pads that are not beans. No beans allowed. What? But what about lima beans? I mean, you could probably have lima beans, but I'm not really big on lima beans. I like green beans, though. Green beans are good. Give me some of them green beanies. No, not that green stuff. Just eat the blossoms. That's the good stuff. No, I do like green beans. Well, I am picky in other ways. Do I like Ghirardelli chocolate? Sure. I haven't had it in a while. I feel like you should get that at like Disneyland or something. Lima beans are green, but they're not the same as green beans. They're like a different flavor of bean. Yeah, I know they come from San Francisco. That's where like the Ghirardelli chocolate base is, the San Fran. But I am not in San Fran, so I would have to get them through other means. I need the magic green beans, true. I need to not play that game Bean Boozled, which we played once with like my grandma and extended family. Keyword being once, we did not do it again. Yeah, lima beans are like a different shade of green. They're lima green. Good grief, Berdly is the biggest pain in the butt to fill in because of all his sharp, pointy little points on his sharp little wings. What happens when you're a big bird? A big floof and feather. Green beans are tactically sufficient. Lima. Didn't beans develop as a concept after the dinosaurs? When did beans start coming around? What's the evolutionary advantage of bean? Because beans mostly seem to be for like feeding things. A lot of animals eat bean. They're like, holy heck, a bean, let's eat it. You come here for my witty commentary about beans. Thank you for sticking around for my bean talk. I actually don't like beans that much. Question. Like, I don't like pinto beans or stuff like that. I don't like regular old beans in a can. Yeesh. Something about it. There you go. There's your science lesson about beans. I know nothing about them. That's my science lesson. Own feathers to ride something? Sure. Why not? You get a cool quill out of it. Those things were hard to use back in the day, though. Yeah, edamame taste okay. But you put, you know, some salt on them. Those are pretty good. And it's fun to, like, you know, get the little pod and crack it open and get the bean out. 2 or 3 of them out. Edamame beans are okay. Yeah, not a fan of, like, pinto or pork and beans. That's a no. Are beans a fruit or a veggie? Veggie. Although I think they usually fall into, like, the grain category more than the veggie category. They're not always a legume, though. Like, peanuts are a legume. But I don't think every bean is a legume, are they? Am I stupid? Yeah, I kind of thought they were more grouped under grains than vegetables. Vegetables grow under the ground unless they're like zucchini, I guess. Like gourds grow above ground. I'm pretty sure those are not fruits. Zucchini is a fruit? I think if we learned anything from fruits and vegetables, it's that our categorizations suck and mean nothing. What's a fruit and what's a vegetable? Vibes, I guess. Gourds are fruit? That's dumb. They can't be fruits. They're gourds. It grows above ground and has seeds, it's a fruit. Then how do you deal with, like, isn't there like a plant that like all these different vegetables come from, like broccoli and cauliflower and all that? It's basically comes from the same plant. Some of it grows below ground, some of it does above. So does it like not count as a fruit or a vegetable depending on what part is above ground? Yeah, is a potato a vegetable or is it a grain, a starch? Here's a question. Is Father Alvin a fruit or a vegetable? Or is he a legume? We'll have to ask Berdly because I don't know. Potato. He probably isn't a fruit. I guess we'll have to go with legume. Then again, you know, it's Eldritchrune. Everybody's gay. It's all fruits all the time. He gives off mean legume energy because he's not like other guys. Soon all the dominoes will fall for me, Chris. You will all see the power of the legume. You can't resist my beans. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm just saying stuff. Broccoli is a vegetable because we technically eat the flower. Yeah, that was one of those things that's like, I don't remember all the stuff, but it's like broccoli and Brussels sprouts and cauliflower, and all of that. There's like 7 different vegetables that are all technically like the same plant, but cultivated in different directions so that certain parts become edible. Or like they have the same plant ancestor at least. Same plant-cestor, you might say. You know that cashews come from a fruit? Aren't cashews like ridiculously difficult to get? They're like sealed inside a poison dome at the end of like a little apple thing, and you basically have to take off this like poison shell, and then you can get the cashew. Who figured that out? Or maybe it's not poison, it's like highly caustic. Like this highly caustic like shell is around the cashew at the end of like this apple looking thing. And you basically have to shell it out of this like caustic shell. And then you have a cashew. Who figured that out? Somebody very bold. They're like, hey, this could be edible. Ow! We could try this. Ow! Ow! Wow! Look at this. Well, the milk thing probably made sense because, you know, they saw the cow nursing its own, you know, baby cow and was like, huh, that's milk. Maybe I can have that too. Like, you at least know what that's being used for. Yeah, Berdly's legit threat. He is a giant guy. They saw humans nursing baby humans. They did that. They've done that since the beginning. By instinct. So milk, probably not hard to figure out. But there's definitely like plant stuff where it's like, okay, if we get this part of this plant, prepare it this way, this is delicious. It's the stuff that requires a lot of preparation. That it's like, how does that work? Because the animals aren't doing preparation for that. Big Burb. Not the same Sesame Street one. He's big blue burb, not a big yellow burb. True. Flower, fruit, leaf, root growth. Maybe how are there any foods that come from the stem? Like any vegetable where it's like the stem is the best part. So yeah, roots, leaves, flowers, seeds, all edible. But people usually leave stems. Yeah, I don't know how that worked. Just eat the stinky fermented fish. Sugarcane kind of makes a little bit of sense because oh yeah, sugarcane, that is the stem, isn't it? The sugar part's in the stem. That one they must have noticed animals getting into it because animals would have liked sugarcane too. I guess technically there are a lot of sugars in that because if you count, like if you look at like a maple tree, that's coming out of the trunk of the tree. Yeah, like sugarcane's one of those things you can just eat raw. Probably not very good for you, but doable. Like the foods that you can just like pick up and eat, probably not hard to figure out. I always wonder how they figure out foods that like take steps of preparation. Like it's inedible until you do this, 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 and this, and in this order. Oh, a lot of trial and error. Fascinating. Perspective shift. See how far we get in this before I have to take another stretch break. Had nothing else to do, we might as well try every food we find and see if we can cook it. To be fair, based because of their curiosity and boredom, and we now have like cashews and saffron and whatever other wild thing people eat. It's like, hope I don't die. Nom, 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 nom. I want to see if you figured out cinnamon too, because cinnamon is like the inside of the bark. So you gotta peel the bark off and realize, oh, this tastes like, I'm gonna lick the inside of this bark. Actually, this tastes amazing. I'm gonna put it in lots of other things. Yeah, peeling bark's pretty easy at least. I don't know, how people often lick the inside of bark and be like, oh, I'll see how this is. Blech, blech. Oh yeah, you could smell it. Smells good. Maybe they were using the bark for something else. I'm like, wait, this smells really good. Let's lick it. The tools of discovery. Pick it up and lick it. Early humans, thank you for giving us weird things because you decided you were bored. And like, let's try that. Without you, we would not have many amazing snacks. Just like Berdly got a snack. I gotta stop and stretch here. It's my stretchy time. True. Berdly would not have amazing snacks if not for humans too. Thank you, humans, for providing many snacks. Okay. Just real quick stretch break, and then we will do one more session. One more, and then I gotta get lunch and other things. Does who eat trail mix? I would probably have trail mix more often if there weren't so many peanuts inside it. I don't really like raw peanuts that much. Berdly eats humans. If they have trail mix on them, I suppose that will be included, but unless you mean Cannon Berdly, in which case, yeah, he probably eats a lot of trail mix, because he'd probably be, yeah. If it's Cannon Berdly, then yes, he eats seeds. We can see that in one of the newsletters where they're like roasting birdseed over the fire for summer. Wonder when we'll get another newsletter. Yeah, he ate Father Alvin. Father Alvin, famously not a birdseed. He recently ate trail mix. Has trail mix by default. When was trail mix invented? That feels like one of those things that's probably more recent than you would think. Some things don't need to be invented. Here's some nuts in a bag, true. That's probably been around forever. Yeah, sorry, Alvin, not also in the cult, also gets eaten. Not every cult member gets eaten, but a bunch of them do. Well, at least I no longer have obligations to my deceased father. I have no obligations at all. Jelly beans were invented in 1861. Fascinating. I love jelly beans. You want those are the kind of beans I want. Forget lima beans. Give me jelly beans. I like Jelly Belly. Yes, I like those too, except for the Bean Boozled ones, which will get you. They will get you. Yeah, I'm not even quite sure how I would do the Garrison and Alvin connection in Eldritchrune here. Because I feel like Alvin's been in the Dark World for a significant amount of time, probably longer than you would think. The rosé ones, yeah. I do like Jelly Belly, but I don't know. What are some other brands? It's hard to think of some other ones. I know the Jelly Belly ones like took off, but it also was really sad because like the guy who invented Jelly Belly jelly beans like got absolutely screwed out of like his ownership of them. Oh, I don't really like Brockus that much. I prefer Jelly Belly to Brock. But yeah, the guy who invented Jelly Belly just got like absolutely screwed over by capitalism. It really sucked. Like because he was just like a decent guy who didn't want to like, you know, screw people over business wise. He just like wanted to make this food that he really liked. Like he was just a really nice guy, and like because of that he just did not pick up on like when people were just being really cruel to him and just like took advantage of him and his brand. Alright, be right back for one more stretch. Still no groceries. Oh, hello, thank you for the read. Sorry, I just got back from doing my stretches. I want to make jelly bean. Yeah, sorry about that. I am back. We're going to do one more session for the day. And I must go get my lunch. Just like Berdly's getting his lunch. I can promise you we are not having the same lunch. That would be awkward. Also, if you're wondering why the heck is this background blank, it's because I'm copying the previous one. I've got to finish coloring it. Remember, oh, I did this. I think it's this way. Yep, he was in the cult. Okay, I think this is how I did it. Now I want jelly bellies. Now I want jelly beans. That sounds good. Maybe I'll buy some at the airport for myself or something. I know they sell that kind of stuff there. I know, jelly beans. It just means they kind of make jelly beans like a seasonal thing, even though it's not clear what season they're supposed to be for. Like, they show up only at, like, Easter. I'm like, excuse me. make jelly beans more available to us. Man, I need like a good candy store that's close to me. I guess I technically do have those, but they're like in the mall. And one of them is like way too fancy. I don't know how to describe a candy store as being too fancy, but I'm always like, oh, I should go into this candy store. And I look inside and it feels like a perfume store. And I'm like, I don't feel like you actually sell candy. I'm going to leave. Why is this so fancy? How do you make a candy store too fancy? I don't know, but they did it. That's a lot of stuff. I think this is the nurse. She's like, I'm a nurse and I can't fix this. I suppose I should actually go in sometime and try the really expensive candy store, but again, it's so awkward looking. Why is it so fancy? Oh, there's Purdy's. That's pretty good. That's more chocolate than candy, though. Chocolate's still good, though. Succulent, flavorful juices. Amazing. So, like, Gushers. That is Food Lottery. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I bet the rent on those spaces in that mall is not cheap. It's really frustrating when it's like, hey, this is a retail area and a place that needs it, but because the rent for the business costs so much, you can only get like super insane expensive businesses there that nobody can use. Yeah, they should just have like actual jelly in the jelly bean. Do make them like Gushers, except like better. Because Gushers, I used to eat a lot of Gushers, and then one day I was just like, you know what, I'm kind of sick of these. Which is an unusual thing to happen for, you know, sweet candy thing. And yet it happened to me. It could happen to you. I don't know what it is. Like, you would think they'd be really good, but they're not as good as I remember. Like, so, like you know what's good fruit snacks? The Scooby-Doo fruit snacks. Those are really good. There was also these shark ones I would get. Those were like awesome. Yeah, there's something about the Gusher specifically that's like, it's too artificial. It leans way too much into like the artificialness of it. It stops tasting like actual like fruit. Or it doesn't even really taste like, you know, fake fruit. It just kind of tastes like fruit sugar, kind of. Oh, I do like nerd gummy clusters. Those are good. Well, I like nerds in general. Both the candy and the people. I like some of those Laffy Taffies. No, don't eat the people. That's what Berdly's here to do. Berdly's like, hell yeah, nerds for breakfast. Nerds for lunch. Nerds, they're pretty good. I actually think the nerds are a little bit better on the gummy clusters, because by themselves they're just like they're kind of like candy gravel, which sounds bad, but like it tastes good, but like the texture is just like little rocky guys. So I guess if you are intrigued by candy gravel, then try yourself some nerds. I like them. I do like nerds. If I was going to call a candy just sugar, it would be Pixie Sticks. That's just like, I'm going to dump flavored sugar into my mouth. Like, it's Pixie Sticks. I guess rock candy is kind of like that. Yeah, rip Alvin. He got eaten. Sorry, Alvin. No, Alvin is the candy nerd. Yeah, Kool-Aid drink mix, also just like pure powdered sugar. Yeah, I do like rock candy. What about Pop Rocks? The ones you like put in your mouth and like, because there's some kind of acetone in them, whatever it is, they like get all sparkly. Are you winning, kids? Alvin's not winning. Yeah, didn't they like ban Pop Rocks for a while? Or in some states or something? I don't remember. I know they're harder to find than they used to be when I was a kid. Yeah, I'm not sure what the formula they used to give that kind of effect in your mouth. Oh no, no Pop Rocks. I feel like Pop Rocks is one of those things you should at least try. Like, you might find you don't like them, but they're worth a try at least to have the experience of putting Pop Rocks in your mouth. But they must really be hard to find nowadays. I think it's because specifically, like, something in the pH or chemical reaction or whatever, if you mix them with soda, then they can get a little bit not great. Like, the reaction just gets stronger. Because I'm pretty sure the whole thing with Pop Rocks is that the reaction is with acid, like the acid that's naturally in your mouth. But if you have a soda, that's also acid, and that might worsen the reaction. And big softball-sized pieces. What? What? I've only ever seen Pop Rocks in like tiny little like granular things that you can put in your mouth. Why were they that big? Yeah, I feel like if they're that big, they're just little bombs that are going to explode. Oh, he made his own. Oh, okay. Oh, he made his own Pop Rocks. I'm like, why would you make them that big? Oh, because you learned how. Okay. No, I don't remember the actual chemical composition that causes the effect, but I will say it is a extremely weird effect to feel. It really does feel like the inside of your mouth is kind of sizzling. Like, if you're not used to it, you might be like, something's wrong. Oh, that would be like being punched in the mouth. Oh no. Oh no. Because yeah, if just the little granular ones are like just, little sizzle thing, then a big one, I feel like that's gonna might feel like it kind of hurts. Run, run, or you'll be well done. Yeah, Susie's got the flamethrower going on. She does use that a little later. I don't know what Berdly's rhyme would be. Camping. Oh, we'll get what happens to Carol eventually. It's not pretty. Again, she probably gets the most gruesome on-screen death. Which after the chapter 4, I'm like, yeah, I can work with that. Carol, why are you so weird and creepy and horrible? Like, what an impression she left. Why is your theme music like that? Why does your theme song sound like people dying of hypothermia? just by you entering the room. Yeah, Noelle actually looking legit scared. Like, that ain't normal. That ain't right. Yeah, like, literally, Rudy, like, it must have been, she must have been better in the past, but, like, Rudy, what do you see to her? Asgore, what the hell do you mean she's actually nice? Please, explain. Her theme is, like, bleeding out in the snow at night near an open gas station. Ooh. Ooh. Just as dark and unhappy as you can get. Yeah, she has very, very sharp antler. Also blue antlers. I like that people have now taken that, being like, oh, the Dreamers can, or the Holidays can have, like, different colored antlers, and like, okay, Dessa's antlers are now red, or teal, or purple, or whatever. We can do whatever we want. She's not funny or quirky. Yeah, I haven't heard any remixes for C so far, unless we just show up in the game. Yeah. Yeah, like, she's definitely has it out for Susie specifically. But the fact that, like, Noelle is that terrified of her, that's not good. That's not a good sign. That's not normal. You should not be terrified of your own mother. Like, under any circumstances, that's not okay. I'm super glad that Susie is like, no, I ain't gonna take this. I'm gonna stand up to you. I'm afraid of what's gonna happen as a result, but she was still right to do it. We're taking Christmas seriously in this house. All year long. Wait, I think, a bit of a break there. Welcome back. Such is the Suze. They kiss in front of everyone to stick it to Carol. Hell yeah. And then everyone clapped except Carol. I don't know, I'm still worried something bad. She's gonna do something bad with Susie. It ain't gonna go that quiet. Don't know why she specifically is singling out Susie in terms of the conspiracy, but it's bad. I hope I don't have this guy brought back later. I'm like, did I kill this guy here and I forgot? I hope not. I hope not. Yeah, true. How is Susie going to react when she finds out, one, Chris is working with, like, the Knight, and two, they're possessed? How is this going to go? I don't know, does she know Rousey exists? Like, they would know they exist by virtue of the prophecy, because, like, Catti's talking about, oh, what if there's a cute little guy with horns? I bet he's cute. Like, talking about Rousey in that sense. So I don't know if they know specifically about Rousey, but they at least know of him via prophecy. Presumably, at least, yeah. Yeah. So, still unclear. Like, the Knight could be in the group chat. We're not quite sure. I think she was definitely on the phone during all that, but don't know if it was just her or if anybody else was on the phone. I guess we'll find out next year. I hope we find out. Please. We're already going insane trying to figure it out. I don't know, I've even heard some suggestions that, like, the katana is considered the black shard. Yeah, sorry, Ice Cap. Ice Cap also gets eaten. He wasn't even doing anything wrong, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Berdly's like, I don't like your hat. Here's how I express that. Yeah, I think she was definitely talking to the player in that. Like, that was a choice. I kind of get the feeling she's actually, a bit colder towards Chris than normal without the soul, because isn't the whole thing like, if you as Chris go around like turning on all the Santas and, you know, not leaving and being kind of obnoxious, she's a little bit colder to Chris, and it's like, Chris, leave. Yep, equipped a black shard, it's useful. Oh, she just tells them not to leave it on, okay. I like how basically, apparently, Monster Santa is just Santa with antlers. Okay, I didn't know if there was anything else, or if she was like a little bit colder to Chris or not. Referring to Chris's phone. I'm pretty sure she's talking about the Santas, because she only says that you are welcome here anytime if you just leave the house. Because I didn't, when I first did, I didn't go around turning on the Santas. I eventually just had Chris leave, and she was like, you are welcome. But they use battery to turn off, yeah. And we already know that Chris, like, on their own, deletes their contacts on the phone. They do that without being told. Oh, 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 oh. I kind of wonder what the deal is with the treat catcher that just, like, kind of tries to nab Chris when they're walking out with the soul, and they're just like, hit. What an odd little decoration there. Does it normally make a noise if it grabs you and Chris just like, nope, I'm doing that? Their fault for going under it, true. Still very odd. Yeah, they're so bothered. Like, you stupid soul, stay in your box. I don't know, Chris put a top on the box. You didn't want to do that? We're nosy. You know this. You know that we're nosy. Alright, let's see how far we can get into this. Is it possible to turn them on while it's just the soul? I forget. Because for the most part, you can't do much free roam as the soul. You're mostly in the vents, just when you're supposed to go to Dessa's room is when you're kind of more free roam. Almost there. Yeah, ugh, weird root scene's so bad. So freaky. I don't like it. I'm kind of surprised that, like, turning up the heat for Berdly in the hospital doesn't count as an off-ramp from the weird route. Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be scary. They held it together, not in the weird route, but in the normal route, they're like, fine, I'll deal with it. I guess it's not about Berdly, yeah. I guess that's true. about Noelle. I don't know. I think there's strong evidence towards Chris losing their hand. I'm scared it's gonna happen. I feel like the thematic setup is there for it. Noelle torturing utensil. Poor Berdly. It's not just about like a game theory thing. It's like, okay, this would have big dramatic impact considering like Chris's, you know, whole things with freedom and their thing with the piano. Stretchy mouth membrane? I don't know what that's called. I feel like if Chris doesn't do it themselves, Susie will do it. Yeah, it feels like that's going to be Susie. And then that's how... Then that will lead into her getting the soul, too. I mean, but that doesn't quite make sense because they act like they have two hands fine. They can play the piano fine. Yeah, the gray is, I mean, you could be about the vessel, but it's clearly also about the graphite they were using. Will they forgive her? Well, what if Chris asks her to do it? They already lost a hand and it's artificial now? But then where is the problem then? they have an artificial hand. So, like... Well, just... I don't understand how that would then be an issue. I don't think she ever would. Again, if Chris asks her to, she might do it in that sense. If they're in a really desperate situation. I don't know. I can't quite buy into the Chris already lost their hand because then it's not a future problem. It's a problem that already happened. And especially like, again, tying into their freedom is tied to being able to play the piano. Because, like, basically, if the whole thing is that they've already lost their hand and they're using an artificial hand, then it's not a problem. they are operating fine with their artificial hand then. This is right now. Yeah, I mean, the knight could take off the hand. That's possible. I just feel like it's got to be something tied in with the soul and Chris being able to use the soul, which is why I think it would then lead into Susie getting the soul. Because if Chris is the cage, then, like, you know, you need a key for that. Generally, you need a key to get in and out of a cage. That's what their hand is. So what happens if you lose the key to the cage? So that is how. Also, ooh, I just realized I just finished this page, and I also need to stop now because this is a good stopping place. So let me see if I can't do all the fills here where Berdly's having his snacks. Yeah, it could be related to deaths. I'm just of the mind of if we're getting the stuff of this now, this is not something that has happened previously. This is something that is going to happen. Again, as long as Chris has a hand to lift me up. They do have a hand right now. It's just artificial. If that was the case, it wouldn't be dire. It wouldn't be as dire, I guess. I guess then they would then have to lose the artificial hand for a different reason. For it to be like, oh crap, this is deeply bad. Perfect grade bionic replacements. Yeah, it would just be an artificial hand. So I think they have both hands right now, and the danger is losing that in the future. Especially like if you parallel that to Berdly in, you know, a neutral route where you don't help him get free of Queen, his arm doesn't work. It's still there but doesn't work. So I think it would be the kind of thing of like, if, you know, say their hand was cut off in the dark world, they don't have that in the dark world, then they get back to the light world, the hand is still there, it just is dead, it doesn't work. So I don't think they're going to be handless in the light world. I think it will just be unusable. Yeah. Something else going on there. But in this particular case, whew, time flew by. But we got through like 6 out of 9 pages for this part. Doing fills for characters with Berdly having his snacks. But yes, I think I'm gonna have to stop for now and get my lunch and all this other stuff. I'm actually hoping I can get a new Eldritchrune comic out today. I'm super close to finishing it. Like, I just need to do a few more effects and pages and write up some other stuff and I can post it. So that might happen today. That might be a thing that happens. Look out for that in the future. If not today, then definitely tomorrow. So I want to finish some stuff before I have to go on my trip. I won't be able to stream next Friday and Saturday because I will be on my trip. But once I get back from that, I can do some more, and maybe we'll start Mother 3 and stuff like that too. So much to talk about. Wah! Yeah, what they were drawing. So, whew, lots to cover. Great crease. Well, I will just say, as somebody who uses graphite, that stuff's really hard to wash off. Yeah, I think the idea is that is not graphite, but as somebody who has used graphite, you actually really can't wash that stuff off. The graphite is like I'm sure part of it is symbolism, but also graphite really sticks to you, just from personal experience. But that is just me. Again, we could argue it many ways. Anyways, yes, it is food for thought. It is indeed. We will find out, I hope, eventually. Thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. I super appreciate y'all being here again. There should be a bunch of Eldritchrune stuff posted in the near future, so please look out for that. Sorry I'll miss you next weekend. I'll be gone on my trip, but until then, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. And I will see you all next time. Alrighty, and see ya later.